No, I don't. I'm sorry. You reminded me of someone else. The Perfect Smile, that's what they did.
Oh.
Now, across the room.
But you got
Two
songs.
star-crossed lovers. This is great. Great start to the show.
All right, Nate.
It is so bright in here, Wes.
It is.
Christ. Is it too bright? Is it?
It's always too bright here.
Yeah, but I love it because this is what it's kind of like
Yeah.
at other mics.
Is it?
Sure.
The
I mean,
Hollywood, West Hollywood is like that.
lights
a
right
bit.
up on, especially when you first go
Yeah.
up.
Real life.
Yeah,
The
it-
audience too?
No, it blinds you from the audience.
Yeah, and you can't see them on their phones, you know. So
Right.
yeah, but it's a good, you know, it's how it goes. Is Broadway off Broadway like that?
No.
No, you can see everybody. You can make eye contact. Oh, it's,
Oh yeah, it's like a bar show. So
Oh,
if
yeah,
you've ever
that's
done
right.
comedy in bars as opposed to a comedy club,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we gonna hold? Wait, Wes. I'm sorry.
No, man, we're rolling.
We're rolling.
Yeah, you're international.
Oh, cool.
Come on,
all right,
man.
all right. Welcome,
Oh.
welcome to the LA School of Comedy open mic. How you guys feeling tonight?
Great.
Yeah, feeling good.
Live.
We're live, and this is live stream on
Wow.
YouTube. Welcome to the LA School of Comedy. I miss you guys. Yeah. My grandmother had a stroke 2.5 weeks ago. Yeah, it was, but you know, it taught me a lot, you know, and now I'm at the hospital trying to get information about her. And I'm flirting with whoever I gotta flirt with to get that information. Male nurses, female nurses, whichever way I identify. I'm gonna try to have sex with you so I can get information from my grandma, though, you know? But yeah, dude, life is crazy. Are we ready for some comedy tonight?
Yeah.
I only need it. I just want to say, like, I don't know, what you mentioned, I love that about holding doors for people who don't give you the respect. You know what I mean? Like, we wake up as good people. I think we're all inherently good. You know, maybe we're God-given good, right?
Yeah.
But then, like, when you go and you open the door for someone, that woman or man won't even say thank you, you know? And that, you know, hello, that smile goes to, you know what, fuck you, you know? I'm gonna close that door in your face. But, oh, I guess it grinds my gears. You know what the last thing that pisses me off? Why are there so many Ukraine flags, right? Why aren't there more American flags in America? Like, we've forgotten our heritage. I'm fired up.
There you go.
All right, and if so, let's get the show going for a very talented comedian. You know, he brings it like nobody, and he brings it like, you know, you just took a shot at Addie. Give it up for the one and only comedy of Patty.
Wow!
Let's do it. Hey, keep the club going. Yeah.
Look at this man. Look at this. Look at this guy. This guy's fucking gorgeous. Are you kidding me? Can you imagine him offering himself up in the hospital ward? Sexual favors for information on his grandma? I might take you up on that. I'm not even gay, but I might, you know, give a little up for you. You know, I'm a very handsome man. And, you know, I come from a very kind of like conservative upbringing, you know, very staunch Catholic conservative upbringing. And the whole idea of realizing that someone wants to have sex with you. Like, I'll give you an example of what I mean. I remember being about 13, and my best friend was this girl, Robin Roberts, who was 14, and she had just gotten boobs. A small portion of the room can relate to this. Okay? But we're sitting at McDonald's, and she's faced this way, and I'm nursing a small Coke for about 7 hours, that's what you would do back then. You'd just buy one drink and sit there all fucking day. And she's facing the opposite way, and she's talking to me, and then she goes, ew! And I went, what happened? She goes, he over there's looking at me. I said, and I look over, and there's a guy kind of about my age, you know, who was kind of just looking. And I went, he's just looking at you. What's the big deal? She went, yeah, but ew! And I thought, what could inspire that? I mean, why? What can inspire that? Then I moved to California, and I used to go to this gym all the time. And I was walking back from the gym, and I had my muscle tee on. I'm making my way down, I got my gym bag, walking around, proud of myself. And a guy in a pickup truck pulls up next to me, goes, "Excuse me, young man. could you direct me to the nearest gymnasium? I said, oh, yeah, sure. There's one right around the corner. If you turn left, it's on La Brea in Hollywood. He went, is that the one you go to? And I went, ew! Like, I could relate to kind of, oh my, because you can picture what they want to do to you. Right? I was like, oh! But I want to share something with you. I made the discovery coming to California that I was like Catherine to gay men. It's the closest thing to hot girl privilege you can experience as a man. They would give me anything. And look, I could kind of relate to like there's a certain thing that happens with women at a younger age, and it's the reason that women have to be mature at a younger age than men. Men are idiots. Well, usually they say 25, but it goes way past that. You know, I couldn't imagine being 15 and you know, that year that your breasts kind of fill out, and just having 40-year-old men just look at me like, what do you want? I'll buy anything. What do you want? Just assessing if they have a fucking chance. It's like, I'm not sure I would use my superpowers for good. Also, I've made no secret of the fact that I was, I dealt drugs for years, especially in the 80s and 90s, and the gay community were wonderful fucking customers of mine. The love of methamphetamine is rampant, and I don't to this day. And I used to make deliveries. You know, this is back when you had beepers. And there was a guy who was the chef at L'Orangerie, which was like the top French restaurant. And I had a connection through what was called the Velvet Mafia, the gay mafia. It had pornography. I'll just tell you the truth. William Higgins was the godfather. And I used to get accounts. I wasn't involved in it, but I knew a lot of porn stars, gay porn stars in particular. And it would be funny because you could, like, they were famous in these little circles, and one of them was like my best friend, a guy named Michael Gear. You could still look him up. Great guy, still a friend of mine. He was discovered in Georgia as he used to wash your hair in the salon. Like, he was from the sticks, Ringgold, like corn country, right? And then he moved to Atlanta, and there's other gay people. Then he meets a man at his work, and they wound up doing a little something later. And the minute the man saw him naked, he said, you would be great. And he brought him to LA and made him a porn star. But you could tell, like, I remember one time he came to court with me because I had a court date. And they said, Mr. Tunney, you're charged with such and such, and how do you plead? And the judge winked at Mike. He said, case dismissed. I'm like, how the fuck? Because there was a tacit, like, you're famous. But anyway, I would make deliveries, right? I was married at the time, already, married to my first wife. And I remember I would always deliver at about 3 a.m. at this big, fucking beautiful condo in West Hollywood. And the guy would have big screen TVs with porn everywhere, gay porn everywhere, and just pretty boys walking all around in various states of undress. He was a French guy, right? And I remember one night he would walk around with a robe wide open and an orange bow, lingerie, an orange bow around his cock. So one time I'm delivering, and he'd always look at me like,
Oh my gosh.
And he'd send the liaison to me when I was going to bring him the bag of meth. And this time the liaison says, he would like, he has something he wants to talk to you about. I think, well, what's he going to want to talk to me about? I bring the meth in, and he goes, I give you $500 to see your cock. You hold on a second. Who do you think you're talking to? I've got principles. I'm a fucking drug dealer. Okay? That's a completely different profession that you're talking about. I said, did you say $500? Well, long story short, a little later, my wife and I both agreed that I'd overcharged him. Because I fucking, your perception of what's, like, it's all perception. Like, when I say koala bear, you think chlamydia. It wasn't always like that. It was not always like that, right? When I say dolphin, now you're just thinking rape. Right? because our perception has changed, right? Of what we like. Hitler's mustache, it once belonged to that lovable clown Chaplin. It's all perception. Like in the 70s, the N-word was not considered profane. White people yelled it at the food courts, at the mall, on roofs, screamed and yelled it. But we created the F word because that word was somehow obscene. Now people say fuck all they want, and the white people don't use that word. Well, they didn't do that all by themselves. They had a little help, to kind of say, But now it seems like every group wants to appropriate that particular hate word. Like the spastics, now it's the SP word, or the R word. Like they're co-opting it. You know what I mean? Like Lizzo, who, I'm secretly in love with.
Yeah.
I had a wet nap. Just today I had a wet nap. Hey, look, I'm 59. It's good to know anything's happening down there. You know what I mean? And I was actually licking Lizzo's fupa. And it was really hot and surprisingly salty. She was guiding my head down to her love canal, and as I got down there, it kind of looked like a flying squirrel with a big pink nose. Then it morphed into where I was, because I don't know if you can tell by looking at me, but I actually live right here in West LA. There's an area that's zoned strictly for pretentious white liberals and Persians. I don't speak Farsi in case you remember. And it morphed into a dream where I was hate fucking Kellyanne Conway. Just hate fucking her. And she kept on blaming her inability to climax on the Clinton administration. I'm not too fucking sure. Things change. Things change. I just want to see how long I could do that. Just say nothing. Yeah, baby. I'm up here. I'm doing it. You guys know what part of my act this is. This is a part of my act. All of you. Just look at me. Feel a little bit better about yourself. Drink it in. It's my gift to you. Savor it. Chef's kiss. Okay, I'm back. Okay. Wow. Hey, I was surprised to find out that Jesus is actually a little Jewish. Is that true? With the name, because the original Jesus was Jewish too.
He's fully Jew.
100% Jewish?
Yeah, he was fully Jewish.
Oh, he was? Okay.
Yeah, no.
But I said, hey, so just a tiny bit of Jew in
Just
this.
a little bit of Jew.
My brother-in-law is Jewish, and he has a fire alarm company, but he sells Jewish fire alarms, which are a little different. When they detect smoke, instead of beeping, they just go, "This is the thanks I get." It's a joke about passive aggression. I actually do comedy with a guy, Rabbi Neftuleh. Rabbi Neftuleh, he's famous. He has a temple in West Hollywood, and we talk. And I remember it was when the Roe v. Wade got overturned. I said, I'm Catholic. Our views on when life begins are pretty well known. But what is the Jewish stance on when life begins? He said they're a fetus until they graduate from medical school. Because of the value placed on education. However. But my dad is Irish, and he loves Jewish people because he said, they were there to write everything down. Thank God for the Jews, Patty. They're there to write everything fucking down. And he's convinced that the Jewish people control the greeting card, international greeting card business, and that they invented Kwanzaa to sell more greeting cards to the blacks. I swear to God, that's what he fucking thinks. He's a different kind of guy. My fucking dad. I never told him I loved him. It didn't occur to me to. I know my father's an immigrant, but also my father's from the 70s, and it just wasn't necessary. But I came here, and I was in a method acting class, and you do this exercise to get to tears, so you can, if you have material where you need to cry, you have this thing in your toolbox, learn how to do it. And it occurred to me, I had never said I love you to him, he had never said I love you to me. So that year when I went back for Thanksgiving, I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to tell him I love him. And after the Thanksgiving dinner, we're sitting there, there's football on the TV, and it says, you know, Dad, I love you. And he just looks at me. I said, Dad, I just told you I love you. He said, are you queer? I said, no, Dad. He said, then I suppose so. Never speak of this again. Never say it again. And you know, you gotta love with open arms. Sometimes they don't have it in them, you know, and especially my dad, you gotta love with open arms because he doesn't like hugs. If you do hug, he wants to call it a standing dog pile. Because, you know, he's very masculine. Very masculine. My mom died a little while ago. Either that or she's been ignoring me for If you knew my mother, you wouldn't find that too fucking hard to believe. She would just say crazy shit, you know. I was a little scared of her. You know, she'd say stuff like, hey, Patty! You know the way people treat you when they think you have cancer, and the way people treat you when they want to fuck your sister are exactly the same. Mommy, can I have a Pop-Tart? Where's my doggy? It's frightening. And like towards the end of my mother's life, she had a very wicked sense of humor. Her favorite thing to do would be just to walk up to anybody, random people, and just say that she voted for Obama. I was like, Mom, you don't have to tell the waiter that you voted for Obama. You know, that would be the first thing she would tell you. And the sad part is, she never voted for Obama. She never would. She just thought it was funny to tell people to get arrested. My mother was an immigrant, a very strict Catholic, and a devout racist. Yeah. You know, you'd think those would be mutually exclusive, but sadly, fuck no, they were not. They were not. My mother, if she saw Barack Obama walk on water, she'd say, Patty, I told you they can't fucking swim. It's just sad but true, baby. I don't know what to tell you. She would always refer to my wife as her lovely ethnic daughter-in-law.
Oh my God.
Would you like to meet my lovely ethnic daughter-in-law? Yeah. Which, if you listen to my mom talk, she sounds like someone's lovely ethnic daughter-in-law. The only time she was drunk on July 4th, which I know an Irish woman drunk on July 4th, how fucking rare. And she referred to my wife as a hot Chinese cartoon mouse.
Oh.
I was fucking offended. She's Filipino. But there's sometimes, you know, you can't fix them. They're not, you know, it's true that there's a certain point of view that maybe is just going to die off. I mean, hopefully. And actually, it was sad. One of my in-laws died of COVID, you know, which was sad because it was the wrong one. Nobody fucking married. Hey, Albert might know what I'm talking about. I've been married a couple of. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, I don't overtly wish any ill will to any of my in-laws. However, you know, there's one in particular that I don't want to be painful. You know, something quick, like a beer truck could run over or something. How am I doing on time? Do we know? Nobody's time. That's okay.
I'm filming. You're like at 15.
Am I at 15
Yeah.
minutes already? You guys have been putting up with Patty.
No, I love
You
it.
guys have been putting up with Patty.
great.
Give yourself a round of applause for
No.
subjecting yourself to this for such a long time. I've had a marvelous time, and I want to remind you, I couldn't have done this without you. In closing, what I'm going to do is just remind you that I was here. And say, I love you guys. And may the least you get be the most you ever wished for.
Yeah.
Let's give a round of applause. A real LA School of Comedy, rousing, how you doing, buddy? We love you. To my friend, the funny man himself, Andre Abrami. He's funny, he's good looking, he's sexy, it's all these things. I'm gonna go back over to the corner and cry myself.
That is gonna end in 5 seconds, I promise. That was amazing, Patty. Give it up for Patty, guys. You could have gone for a half hour, man. That was good. That was fun, man.
I love it.
Yeah, and if your other in-law dies, we know who to look for.
Right.
You know?
There's one left.
There's only one. We're gonna keep it going. You guys ready to keep it going? Let's keep the momentum going. Yeah, I love this. Ready to go. It's like we're here and we're there and it's time to plan. I can't make these rhymes work, but just give it up for Sam. Let's go.
I thought you were like gonna do some motivational
No,
quote.
it's going great right now.
Digital
Yeah.
quote.
I was like, we're not with the plan anymore. We're living. We're in the present. Shit. Because plan doesn't really rhyme with Sam when you think about it.
If you think about it, yeah.
Okay.
Or-
Pretend that you have like a cup of apple juice or whatever. Take a sip every time you've been like, how do I text this person in the way in which I convince them not to kill themselves, but still not call them because I have to, I just woke up. A few times, honestly. I've just been noticing that more lately. But that's just called opening up to people. Because everyone has those moments. I don't know. At least the people I hang out with. I'm making progress. So much. Yesterday, my therapist and I moved my bed to the wall. Not a euphemism, loser. You're a beautiful audience, by the way. You're a beautiful audience. I'll kill myself for each and every one of you. And I wouldn't burden you with a text. Peace and love. No, my room was dirty. Cluttered mind, cluttered room. Cluttered mind, cluttered room, stoner, retail forever, pipeline. We're trying to make it a stop on the journey. So we made a structural change in the space and moved my bed to the wall. Let's just say, #ComfyAF. If you didn't know me, like if there was like one new person in the audience and I was like, #comfy, that's my punchline. I don't know, I just thought it and I wrote it. Am I right? Okay. Speaking of comfy, I Uber a lot. Thank you. Tonight I'm just gonna see how long I can talk about Uber and how funny that can be. And maybe I'll get a little bit paid. How do I Uber? Why do I Uber? Does anyone know? A lot of us are Instagram mutuals, like you should know this. Two-parter, I'm scared to drive because I'm self-aware. And, Jewish daddy boomer money. Jewish daddy boomer money. That's my theme song when I walk the room. And charisma, my stripper name. So I have a few stories about Ubers. So I don't even know where to start. Okay, I was Ubering to an open mic, not this one. I'd go to this one the most. Like, nobody fucking freak out, loser shit. Like, I would die here. I was describing this place as like, it is my comedy, this is like my bar. Anyways. So I get in the car and she's on the phone. Also, it's a Tesla. Like, I've been in like probably 20 Teslas just from Uber. Yeah, that's not like a flex. That's so funny. That's the only time you'd be like, I've been in a Tesla when it's not a flex. I paid $8 to not walk. Yeah. But she was on the phone and she was like, well, that's funny because I got there at 4 and it says you guys close at 7 and why did I see everybody packing up? And da-da-da. She was like, I need to get my car fixed today. You said last week, whatever. And he was like, yes, ma'am, that's all correct. And that would be ideal, but this is reality. And I was like, no, you fucking didn't. That's fucked. So then she hung up the phone and I was like, tough day, huh? And she was like, girl, you don't even know. And I was like, did he just tell you what reality is? And we started talking and I invited her to the open mic and she was like, girl, usually I would have an apple in my back seat. I got some wet wipes. Like, she was everything. And she was like, I don't know. We saw, like it felt like a little, like, writing brainstorm. Like, I saw She-Hulk. And she was just, like, so immediately angry. Like, I loved her emotion. She was like, what is that? And I was like, bitch, I don't know either. Like, she thought it was like, I don't know. She thought it was like a real lawyer dressed up and like, I don't know. One time,
movies with her?
No.
Oh.
There's another one like that though. No, we just saw a billboard. No, not yet. I have her phone number. I was like, what should I put down? And she was like, Twisted Tea. And I was like, cool. And I texted her, hi, this is Sam, the one you said we should do a podcast. One time I was in an Uber on the way to like a conversation with someone who's like a comedy writer. And this is like a tangent, but like at one point he was like, I feel like this may be turning into a therapeutic space. And I'd love to push you towards questions. And I was like, that's how I know comedy's for me. Like, that's how I know comedy's for me, and my mental illness was validated in the same moment. You know? I was like, I have a true well. I have a true well. I don't even see it. But also, I should have written down questions. Yeah, so I was on my way there, and I was like, you know what? Like, just to, like, loosen up, like, I'm gonna talk with my Uber driver, because usually I always do, but I'm trying to, like, you know, save my energy for me and whatever. And I don't know how we got here, but at some point he was like, you know, the Me Too movement, I'll take it out. The Me Too movement was really confusing for men. And I was like, what? Like, I was like, what did I do? Like, how did I even? Because I'm genuinely, like, racking my brain, like, how did I get there? Oh, I think it's because, oh, God, no. It's just not relevant. But, I was sitting there, like, in the back seat. And, like, every time he would say something, it's one of those sentences where you don't know what he means till the end. He was like, you know, a lot's going on in the world, and everyone's going through a lot, and I don't know, why so many questions? And I'm like, and I kept trying to say something. I'd be like, so I would get the word yeah out. I'd be like, yeah, and then I was done. You know, like, if I got the yeah out, everything was fine. That shit was funny, though. That shit was funny. Because I think guys have a tendency to think about, like, middle and high school more. Like, I don't know if that's so many men that are like, hey girl. I don't know, I've just, like, noticed that a lot. Like, he was talking about, like middle school, they went on a field trip, and this girl, and he's not sure if she really wanted to kiss him. I was like, like, why are you telling me this right now?
Oh my God.
I feel like people might feel that way about me. Like, I'm holding them hostage, like, in an audience. But, like, I was paying him to be held hostage. You know, like, I'm paying the collective you. I was in an Uber, and I was like, what's your crazy? I don't speak English very well, but I'll try. This motherfucker spoke like Merriam-Webster to me because that shit was trauma. So he said that this like guy got in the car, actually at the apartment building I was living at. I was like, cool, sex offender. Oh, spoiler. But he was like, can I give you cash? And then the driver, he informed me that, like, that might be something people say. Can I give you cash to go to this place? And I don't know why that would, like, but... And he's like, can I give you $200 to let me suck your dick? This is similar to what you said about the $500 naked, but we didn't plan it. Why are you saying, oh, okay. No, this was, something happened to him. Someone said this to him. This isn't, we got lost. A man told me about when another man...
Yeah.
Okay, you got it. I thought I was like, sometimes I hear myself and I'm like, what? Because then I told that story to another Uber driver and I got out and my friend was like, what if that Uber driver thought that that's what you were gonna do? And I was like, why would you put that shit in my head? Like, right when I get to the vape store. That's fucked. That's fucked. One time I was in San Luis Obispo, don't clap. I don't like that place. I was in San Luis Obispo because I wanted to go to college in a small town in Ohio, but I settled on a smaller town in California. Because I graduated 2020, don't clap, it was awful. We didn't really get to graduate. I don't care, but sometimes I do. But I told my parents I wanted to go to Oberlin. They're like, what if the planes don't let you back in California? I was like, are you reading my journal again? Are you hearing my prayers? Are we Catholic? Can you hear my thoughts? Like, I don't really understand what's going on right now. But I went there, and then I moved. And then my coworker and friend, she's my friend first, okay? She told me that her Uber driver asked if she knew me. Because I'd been in his car. And he took me to bed. Like, and that's not scary. Is it scary? I don't know. No, I'm just like, I go everywhere. Oh, okay, yeah, it's just kind of more Uber. How much time do I have?
You have 1 minute.
Okay, this is just something I'm gonna work on. But I feel like I'm Hannah Montana when it comes to my Judaism. Like, I'm simultaneously like a fucking anti-Semitic rock star. Like, I throw anti-Semitism in places it's okay, it's never needed. But I can get it in the fucking party and make it chill. Like, one time, this wasn't chill. One time I saw a girl with a golden Star of David at a frat party, and I made a Holocaust joke on purpose.
Oh!
On purpose. She was blonde, she was still in school, and I dropped down, and then I wanted to. And yeah, so I did. But then I'm also a Jewish icon, like at Jewish sleepaway camp. Like, damn. So like, I don't know what to do with that moving forward. Probably marry a rabbi and we'll cancel out. Okay, I love you guys.
All right, girls.
God. Yeah, let's give it up for Sam again, man. She's gonna marry a rabbi soon, you know? Back to the temple.
What's good, Sam?
Dude.
Yeah. It's funny, you know? I think Jews and Armenians have a lot in common. I was gonna say, I'm Armenian if you don't know, so I'm not talking shit for no reason. But it's, you know, my favorite Armenian holiday has to be January 6th. Yeah.
Armenian.
Exactly, Armenian Christmas, you polarizing losers. Like, I'm Orthodox, but like most, you know, most Armenians, Christmas comes late, you know, and so does Santa Claus. Economists say it's supply chain issues, but I think it's just being Armenian, really. So next year, Armenian Santa Claus is coming later. Not like Christmas in July, but like September 11th, probably. So, yeah, that way Santa Claus will be driving in to your place, gonna crash into your twin Mercedes Benzes. So, yeah, thanks for listening to that. Talking about anti-Semitism, you know, I feel like we don't have a word for that when you're anti-Semitic in your own Armenian, or your own race.
Hannah
You know
Montana.
what I always found interesting, and I
Yeah.
apologize for interrupting.
Not at all. It was
Your
that
last name is Jewish.
Abrahamians? Abraham.
Yeah, it's Abraham.
Totally.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
But it could be.
It probably was. You know, I haven't done the 23andMe.
If it was
Or the-
Abramberg.
Abraham Steen? Maybe? Yeah. No. Okay. No more
Old Testament
anti-Semitic.
name. Old Testament name.
Yeah. But the older you get, you realize you got more in common with people than you think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We ready for more comedy?
Yeah,
Ready to keep it going? Alright, we're gonna keep the show going. For a new performer, haven't seen him before, ready for his stuff. Let's give it up for Jose. Let's do it, man. I don't know why I said it like that. Jesus! Oh my god! Literally talking about racism. Piece of shit.
I apologize.
Forgive
If I had a dollar every time that happened to me. Shit. So I'm gonna keep up with this just casual stuff. I know. I used to own a crystals and sage store. I'm not joking. So that's okay. I once. I totally feel you. I started in 2019. I opened up the store. I got really excited. And then pandemic hit and they wouldn't let me advertise on Google anymore because they said that I couldn't use the word cleansing
Wow.
for advertising because it's spiritual cleansing crystals. Business just went shot down. I was like, fuck, another pandemic casualty.
Can't use the word.
Yeah. Well, you know, a lot of people were selling like false cures online. So, let's see what else I got. I've been on Facebook for a really long time. Probably about like 2022, just shy of 20 years. I used to be invite only. Yeah, I was one of the cool people who got an invite from what's his name? I don't even remember his name. Mark, yeah, it used to be Mark. It used to be Mark, and then like it was a picture of him, like, and he would invite you or whatever. Anyways, it was that chill, yeah. But it's funny because I've been on there for so long that now there's this thing called Facebook Memories. And Facebook Memories is basically like shows up on your feed and shows you posts that you did however many years ago. And I swear, just the other day I was looking at my phone and I saw this like Facebook memory come up and it said, it was just a screenshot of an article that said, click here to find out what happened to this woman's nuts. And I was like, I had so many questions in my head, like, why did I screenshot this? funny. Why did I even, you know? And I look at some other silly stuff. I suffer from BPS, that's broke person syndrome. I mean, I was so poor growing up that I learned how to fold toilet paper into triangles. I realized that the reason that they fold ramen in half is so that you could break it in half and share one half for dinner later on. I get anxiety when I go shopping because I can't look at price tags. Like, I get so stressed out. And that's why I have a giant credit card bill. It's anxiety from debt. It's like self-fulfilling. I'll go ahead and give out my grandma's story. My grandma's story. It's not even my grandma. It's funny because the story it is about a cat, and I was once on I was working from home, and I was, you know, what is it? You could do the video, but you don't do the camera. So everybody on this conference call, maybe like 20, 30 people, heard me say, "Grandma, stop licking yourself," and everybody was like, "What?" Like, you know, everybody's wondering what the heck was going on. It's just my cat licking herself. We call her Grandma. That's because she had kittens. Love her to death. I have 2 cats. One's called one's Trouble the Cat, and that's my Instagram. I'm Trouble the Cat. But I also have another cat. Her name is Grandma, and we call her Grandma because she had the kittens. Funny story is, you know, with everything going on with Roe v. Wade, I learned about women's rights and to respect women's rights. But in this case, I'm talking about a cat, and I found the cat at my mom's house when I was staying there after grad school, and then I left her a check and I said, "Hey, I'm gonna come back in 9 months and pick up the cat. Can you make sure you get it spayed?" And I go and I take her down, and a couple months later I'm at work and I get a FaceTime call, and I think it's an emergency because it's a FaceTime call, and I'm like, shit, let me put this on. I'm in the middle of work, and it's my mom, and she's frantically trying to explain to me that they won't conduct the spaying on the cat. And so she speaks Spanish, so I said, okay, well, let me talk to them. So I asked her to put the FaceTime camera in behind, and I start talking to the vet. The vet says, "Oh, yeah, you know, we can't conduct the procedure because we need an extra $25 to do an abortion." And so I had to translate that back to my mom, and my mom says, "Oh, well, first she heard the word abortion, and then she just looked at me, like her eyes like opened up, and I was like, you know, explaining to her, and she goes, no, we can't do abortions. We're Catholic. Like, it's not in our DNA." And I'm like, "But it's a cat. What are you gonna do with like 5, 6 kittens, right?" And she goes, I'll figure it out. I was so mad, but I gotta think of a better punchline for this. I took that cat home, away from that Catholic home. Yeah, something better. I am Jewish, a little Jewish, from my mom's side, which is also, it's like 5% Ashkenazi Jew, so it was a weird 23andMe DNA sample to get it.
That's the best kind.
Is that the best kind? So, you know, just wanted to put that out. Not a practicing Catholic either. So I do try to be nice. I try to be nice all the time to people in public. I say hi to people. I wave at people. I smile if I see somebody frowning. I think it's good to like hold doors open, help women across this, like elderly women across the street. It's important to do those kind of like nice, kind acts. Just sometimes it gets misinterpreted. Like, I'll open a door for a guy, and instantly it's like, "Yo, bro, I'm not gay." And I'm like, I'm just being nice. Like, it has nothing to do with it. Like, I'm just being nice. And it's always like the ugliest guys too. Always the ugliest guys too. It's the worst. I don't know. who wants to get up in these unwashed guy underwears? I mean, I don't even like my underwear. I do sell them on eBay though. On that topic, so I got like 3 minutes left. On that topic, I was a little disappointed at the whole Ricky Martin scandal that went down a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, no, so Ricky Martin was being accused by his nephew that he molested him. Yeah. I was like, oh shit, I gotta go on Instagram and see what he looks like. I gotta, cause if you're accusing Ricky Martin of molesting you, you better be really cute little boy or really handsome man or something. And I'm like, it's Ricky Martin. So I went on Instagram. I found the pictures. And I was disappointed. I just wanted to share how disappointed I was. I mean, it was like, ugh. Looked like the guy from the gym where I opened the door for him. So some news, some other news. You know, the Queen just died, and I just want to talk about the person that is most inspirational out of this whole situation, Camilla. She came up from side chick to number one.
Yeah.
That's it, right there. I mean, really, come on, like, shoot.
Come
on. I'll wrap it up with, yes, I'm Mexican. I have a big mustache. I've had it since I was about 12. I don't like spicy food. I don't like spicy food mostly because I fold my toilet paper into little triangles. So it's a very tricky situation there, budgeting on toilet paper and liking spicy food. Yeah, I think that's all I got. Please excuse the outfit. I look like a corporate clown, but hey, I make plenty of money.
I thought Peter Vivas was Ricky Martin's nephew.
Oh, that's funny. Oh man, yeah, Ricky Martin's nephew,
His
man.
nephew, and now Ricky Martin's suing him.
Yeah, because
his brother's
defamation,
son.
right? Yeah, keep it in the family, they said, right? That's
Damn.
How could the kid don't have
It's just-
just wants him to stop?
Just wants him to stop.
I get that though, you know, like you feel like you can trust people, you know, and then you can't. I feel like that's how the dating apps are now. You're like, oh,
being molested
you're
by
like,
Ricky Martin.
well, you could get there, but like you're like, well, this person seems like a nice person, you know, like I could get to know them, they could get to know me. You're swiping, you know what I mean? You're swiping. But then, like, you know, I seek women, and then sometimes they'll throw in every 50, they'll throw in a guy, and then it'll be like, well, are you is this like asking me are you interested? You know, it's like you go to a restaurant and they're like, well, you know, I'm allergic to crab, but then the waiter's like, well, you know, the crab biscuit's pretty good. It's to die for. I'm like, whoa, my girlfriend can't have that. But is that a promise? Can you do that? Anyway. I don't know why I thought of that. It's just like, you know, they're like, hey, are you still interested?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep it going. Ready for more comedy? Let's go for our headliner right now. Why don't you give a warm round of applause for the one, the only, very funny Alfred. Hey, baby, it's time. Yeah, headline time.
Great. I did not realize that. Well, thank you so much. One more time for your host. And for all the comments you've seen so far. Thank you for coming out tonight.
Yeah.
It's good to be here. Where the hell am I? My favorite room, LA School of Comedy. And you're my favorite people. I'm so happy to see you because I have done a grand total of nothing today. And I am really happy with that. The less I do, the more time I have to get rich. Because money just flows to me when I do nothing. It flows in me, through me, all around me. Everywhere I look, I see other ways of making money. So it's a remarkable life that I have. I'm very impressed with it. However, it did not start out this way. I want to talk about the 60s.
Right.
But for me, the 60s started in the 50s. Yeah, because the 50s sort of like paved the way for all the shit that happened in my life during the 60s. Because in the 50s, I lived in segregated Jacksonville, Florida, and I remember all the signs that used to say colored, white, nigga, hunky. Okay. I mean, there was a sign for everything. You know, it was like, oh my God, whoever makes signs is making a lot of money in antebellum South. I don't know if you call it antebellum South. I'm spitting this shit. You're recording this, right? This is international.
you are
Is
international.
it intergalactic? Are we going to Mars? Fuck it. I don't know.
Yeah, we're firing up the radio
Go to
tower.
Mars, not. All right, so anyway, so Jacksonville, yeah, in the 50s. I remember, giving an example, there was a restaurant chain called Crystals in Florida, and in Jacksonville, I think there still is. And in Jacksonville, Crystals was on the bus line, which the city bus, which meant that it served a lot of African Americans because, you know, most of us took the bus in Jacksonville, right, Florida. So I don't know if most of us took the bus. I took the bus. I don't know what the rest of us were doing. I don't have any knowledge of that. But anyway, Crystals had a huge black following because it was just on the side of the bus. But the Crystals that I went to, and this was the policy throughout, if you were black, you couldn't come into the dining room. The dining room was reserved for whites only. It had a huge sign at the back of the wall that said, dining for whites only. And colored on the side of the building. Go out to the side of the building. Fuckers, please. Stop judging. Relax. This shit is funny. Come on. This shit doesn't exist anymore. You don't even sit here looking at Albert, you poor unfortunate black man living in the deep dark South back in the 50s before that was light. Fuck you. Come on. I like my life. I like my experiences too. You know, I'm happy with every fucking thing. Except I'm not getting late. No. All right, so we'll move on. So anyway, Crystals is important to me because I integrated Crystals. We had a day of integration where everyone, just black and white people, got together. We just walked around to businesses that said, you know, coloreds this and no blacks allowed, blah, 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 and we went in. So we disobeyed the sign. The next day, President Johnson, who was president then, signed the historic civil rights laws. And all those signs that said colored here, white, all that shit just, overnight, it was gone. Except when it came to white girls. I'll tell you another story. In Jacksonville, in the center of Jacksonville's downtown business district, they had the world famous Confederate Park, the only place in the world where Confederate money could buy shit. Like you could buy a ride on the Dixieland Ferris wheel, or the ever popular hang a nigga shade tree.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
Hey.
Bam! There it is! That didn't go international, did it? No! That wasn't international, was it? So, in Confederate Park, don't ask me how I got there. This is just a memory, because I'm really young. I should have been in school, but I wasn't. Instead, I was in Confederate Park. And there was a little white girl, my same age, and we made eye contact. And she got up from her side of the park, off her bench, and she started walking toward me. I got off of mine and started walking toward her. There were no words, right? It was just two kids hanging out with kids, and boom, this old white guy. You get me talking to that white girl? You better get out of here. Right. Ran my ass out of the park. All I can say, at least I'm not Emmett Till.
Oh, hey, ho. Hey, ho.
But, you know, that's where it was back then. And ever since then, I've been hooked on white girls. That's the story of why I date white women. Because they were denied to me. You can't deny me something and tell me I can't get it. The fastest way to get me to do something is to tell me, don't do that. I do exactly fucking that.
Yeah.
That's who I am. So, anyway, that was Jackson. Oh, Crystals. So on the integration day, a bunch of us went into Crystals, and I went all the way to the back where the counter was, with a big sign said, whites, dining room for whites. And there was a counter. And I sat down. I was under 10. And I was smoking a cigarette. That's how I roll. All right, so, and I'm serious. I started smoking when I was 7. And I smoked Lucky Strikes because that's what my partners had. So, I sat down at the counter. I took a drag of my Lucky Strike. I put it in the ashtray, and this old white woman sitting next to me, she said, "Son, you can stay, but that cigarette has got to get the fuck out of here." And I said, "What, you got something with this black lung disease? What kind of racism is this? You're not playing this game very well. You're supposed to say the cigarette can stay, but your black ass has to go. What kind of racist are you, lady? I'm gonna have to go report this to my platoon sergeant because you just fucked up my entire life for the next 40 years. You're supposed to be racist, bitch!" So that was Jackson. Part of it. How much time I got? How much time do I have?
3 minutes.
3 minutes, because I'm not timing. Thank you. So, in mid-60s, I moved to New York City. And this was in the middle of the heroin epidemic. How many of you guys seen American Gangster?
Oh, yeah.
This is that time period. I'm there for that. I survived.
Oh.
Many of my friends, in fact, all of my friends from that time period, every fucking one of them didn't. So it was a long ride, but when you're snorting cocaine, not cocaine, but heroin, and you're shooting that shit up into your veins, the longer you do that, the more likely you're going to have an ending that is something that you did not plan for. That's the way that shit works. So, personally, I think the only reason I survived is because I had a goal. I had a goal that I had set when I was in reform school back in Florida, which is another story, but not tonight. And that goal, I actually wrote it down. And this is proof positive that if you write something down, it comes into your life. So when I was sitting in that cell all by myself as a juvenile delinquent, and the only thing I could think about, and that's what I wrote down. I wrote down, when I get out of here, I'm going to get all the pussy I want. I'm going to have girls just crawling all, I wrote this shit down. I'm going to have girls just crawling all over me. I'm going to get laid 7 days a week. I was horny as hell. I was fucking horny. Then I moved to New York. And that's exactly what I got. Exactly what I got. Yeah, I wish it hadn't happened. I wish I had written down, I want to be Elon Musk. Some shit like that. I want to be, who's Jerry said, I don't know. Instead, I got pussy. And there's nothing wrong with pussy. But you can't pay your light bill with that shit. You can't go up to Kroger or to Ralph's. I want to pay for these groceries, and she's gonna be your pussy now. Because in exchange for these groceries, I give you this pussy. That shit doesn't work. But it was fun. And then I left New York in the 70s, right before the crack epidemic hit. And then I moved to Iowa there. So, do I have a minute left?
Yeah.
Okay, so just in time. That's how I know that my life is purpose. Because me and 10 others, we survived that shit by being shipped to Iowa. Because I would have been dead like a motherfucker. Because if my friends are doing crack, I'm doing crack. Yes, whatever my friends do, that's what I'm doing. Except they'll go gay. No, I'm sorry. Our friendship just ended. I like pussy. Give me more poontang. All right, is that it for me?
That's it.
All right.
And through the decades we went. Man, that was funny as hell. All right, you guys had a great time? I had a great time. Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. I dated a girl once. She worked for the 49ers. Yeah. Take what I can get. But she broke up with me. She left me for the punter, though. So, yeah. Yeah. Anyway. I can't follow Albert, man. That was beautiful. Man. Very fun. Come again, man. That was fantastic. Anyway, you guys have been fantastic. Thank you for coming to the LA School of Comedy open mic on Wednesday, September 14th. We'll see you, excuse me, 15th? 14th. 14th, yeah.
14th, yeah.
Hey, days keep rolling. We keep doing comedy. Hope to see you Friday. And we're out.
If anyone is in San Diego on Friday, come see me at Comedy Heights.
Okay.
Nice.
I used to go to Kentucky in the summertime.
Are you leaving?
Yeah.
You're amazing.
My mother's cousin
So
was
good to meet
at
you.
the Catholic Church.
Like, I know
Wes,
I
do you
met
podcast
but
then?
not so
Tonight?
Again? Or no?
No,
You can leave
it's
this
only
for Friday?
3 times. 4 times?
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that.
Really?
Because the milkman used to come to the house.
In passing?
I run 50.
Jerry,
Well, I stay for like 5
What do you stay for?
I was hoping you'd say that.
times.
All right.
I'll